In an attempt to really shake up the middleweight market, Yamaha launched the all-new YZF-R7 this week. Yep, you heard me right. We've got an R7 on our hands. But you might be asking yourself, isn't that going to be too similar to the beloved R6? Well, not really, because the R6 is officially dead after the 2020 model year. So if you've always wanted one of those high-revving inline 4-cylinders, you better start looking for one because they're going to be quickly gone. In today's video, I'm going to strike a nice little balance of education and entertainment as I talk through some of the more important things you need to know about the all-new Yamaha YZF-R7. Now, Yamaha is left with two main bikes in their super sport lineup, the 50 horsepower YZF-R3 and the 200 horsepower of the YZF-R1. Since middleweight sport bikes have basically been slowing in sales over the past few years due mostly in rise of the popularity of naked motorcycles, there have been multiple rumors of Yamaha cutting their middle child out of the family completely. And as a side note, I find it funny and sort of sad that Yamaha's own line of naked bikes, the MT and the XSR, basically cannibalized their hero R6 bike into extinction. The new YZF-R7 is here to officially slot into the family, and it does not disappoint. While rival middleweight sport models tend to go to the more relaxed route with relatively high mounted bars and subdued styling, the R7's appearance is just as aggressive as the YZF-R1's, and its buyers are lusting after. If you're one of my older subscribers, you might remember that I owned a 2017 Yamaha MT-07 while living in Berlin, Germany, and it was by far one of my favorite motorcycles. The suspension was soft, the seat was mediocre, the design was spectacular, but you know what the best part of the entire motorcycle was? It was the engine. That engine was nothing but smiles. Third gear, that sub 700cc bike wanted to lift its front wheel. It was a true masterpiece of an engine. And with that being said, you know what the best part of the YZF-R7 is going to be? It's going to be the fact that underneath that bodywork lies most of the mechanical parts from the MT-07. The 689cc CP2 parallel twin engine, named after that crossplane crankshaft that gives a firing interval that emulates a charismatic 90-degree V-twin, sits in a tubular steel frame. To aid with the rigidity, Yamaha has added an aluminum center brace at the swing arm. Yamaha's US marketing material doesn't mention any figures for the engine, but in Europe it's claimed to make 72.4 horsepower at 8,750 RPM and 49.4 pound-feet of torque at 6,500 RPM, exactly the same numbers that are claimed for the MT-07. So we should be fairly confident that the engine has remained the same. But in an effort to improve acceleration, Yamaha is going to pair it with a lower set of gear ratios and a new assistant slipper clutch. And if you want to improve the acceleration one step farther, an optional quick shifter is going to be available. While I've praised the MT-07's engine, don't think that this is going to be a full fairing version of the MT-07. The R7 will be a very different animal completely. The chassis geometry is tweaked to give a steeper rake at 23.4 degrees, down from 24.5 degrees on the MT, and a shortened 54.9-inch wheelbase. And that's largely due to the fork, which is a new 41mm upside-down KYB unit with adjustable preload compression and rebound dampening, mounted in a forged alloy lower and a cast alloy upper triple clamp. One of my biggest complaints on the MT-07 was that it was lacking quality suspension, and I still to this day would like Yamaha to produce an MT-07 SP variant that addresses those suspension issues. Maybe with the new upside-down KYB unit, my dreams could actually come true. The rear suspension is adjustable for rebound and preload. It's also optimized for the R7, and the bike's ergonomics put more of the rider's weight over the front. Braking comes from 4-pot radial mount calipers and twin 298mm disc at the front, coupled to a Brembo radial master cylinder. The styling follows the lead of Yamaha's other recent R-Series bikes by hiding the headlight to give a conceiving impersonation of a race bike. Where the R1 and R6 put their LED lamps under the nose, the R7 hides its single main headlight unit inside the M1 style air intake, while the marker lights on either side of the nose blend almost invisibly into the styling when they're switched off. The 3.4 gallon tank is new, mimicking the shape of the MotoGP bike's unit right down to the grille-like stakes on its shoulders, and the seat unit is similarly M1 inspired as well, with a small pillion pad flanked by air intakes and LED taillights set into the rear. The MotoGP look doesn't just help the aesthetics, it's efficient as well. The R7's bodywork is actually slimmer than any other R model bikes, including the smaller R3 and even the tiny R125 that's offered in European markets. That makes for a tiny frontal area that boosts top speed by about 10 miles per hour compared to the MT-07. For easy maneuverability, together with agile handling and responsive suspension action, the R7 is equipped with lightweight 10-spoke cast alloy wheels, and a high level of traction is provided by a 120/70 ZR17 front tire and a wide 180/55 ZR17 rear tire that delivers stable and confident road handling when cornering, accelerating, and braking. On board, you get a new LCD display, and while it's not the sort of color TFT setup screen on many modern bikes, it has an inverted color scheme with the pale readouts on a black background, which look kinda trick. As for the colors, the dynamic new R7 is available in 2 color options and has been chosen to debut the next generation R series colors and graphics. The first color option is Icon Blue, which is used on the upper body surfaces as well as the lower aluminum panels and wheels, while the sides of the fairing feature a contrasting darker matte blue. Engine, frame covers, and swing arms are finished in a crystal graphite. The R7 will also be available in Yamaha black color option with minimal graphics and accents. This gloss black finish gives the bike a purposeful look and is complemented by a crystal graphite engine and chassis. If you want a little extra fun out of the YZF-R7, Yamaha offers 2 packages full of goodies. The track line is aimed at riders who want extra performance and includes an Acropovic titanium exhaust system, as well as a quick shift system, billet engine cover kit, and radiator and engine protectors. For the road rider, Yamaha includes a shorter license plate holder, LED indicators, and a tank pad, as well as a wide range of billet items and engine protections for aftermarket. Now, how much for all of this? The MSRP is $8,999, and it positions the R7 a little above established parallel twins like the Ninja 650, but it's well below the $12,200 of the YZF-R6. If you want one, the R7 is due to hit dealers in June, so there isn't a long wait. And now that we've covered everything, I'm interested to hear your take on the bike. As I've made it very apparent, I'm a firm believer in this engine, and Yamaha knows they have something special on their hands with it. I think this bike is going to set the middleweight sector on fire and sell like honest hotcakes. But if you think differently, drop your thoughts below in the comments. Would love to hear them. Now, if you've made it this far, you might as well hit that subscribe button. You have no idea what it means to me and this channel as I continue to grow. But that's it for this video, everyone. Now go out there and ride safe. Thanks so much for watching.